Hey guys, this is HBK Grand and we are making a video about the beginner's guide part 10 for Destiny 2. So today we are gonna be doing discovery of Mars. So that is one of the next quest steps for introduction to the worlds as well. So the last one we did was introduction to Mercury. Now, when you're starting off with Destiny and you're getting all the quests, you actually get Discover the Mars separately from Introduction to the Worlds. But if you do it in this sequence, you actually do all of it in one go instead of like if you had discovered Mars earlier and going to talk to Anna Bray and whatnot, you will eventually have to come back to get the next quest step again. So in this sequence, you will actually end up getting everything right off the bat. So once you are on Mars, just go simply talk to Anna Bray, the NPC, one of the most gorgeous NPCs in this game, and you can talk to her in order to get what you have to do for discovery of Mars. So in order to complete Mars, you need to do a full escalation protocol. But for discovery of Mars, you need to do 1 adventure, 2 lost sectors, and 1 wave of escalation protocols. Also, you can get the bounties from Banshee while you're here, so because you could switch between all the weapons while you're doing everything here, alongside with the bounties of Mars. Getting the Banshee's bounty is kind of like cool because you're gonna get a lot of XP and you'll be here for a while, especially when you're doing the escalation protocol. Now, one thing to remember, guys, if you are doing the escalation protocol and you see a public event before you even started and there's no escalation protocol going on, either do it right away if you have a lot of people, or just start the escalation protocol before the timer starts so that way you could finish it. But there's a catch. You need to make that public event into a heroic event, and then there is an addition to it. So let's say you are on wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or even 6. What's gonna happen is the public event will spawn in any of those waves, and if it spawns, what you have to do is turn that public event into a heroic event, defeat the boss of that heroic event as well as the wave boss of that escalation protocol. So let's say, for example, it was wave 4 and a public event spawned. You have to turn that public event into heroic, and then the wave 4 boss will spawn and you have to kill it as well in order for the wave to count. If you do not make it through, then the wave will start back from the previous wave. So if you were at 4 and you missed, you're gonna go start at 3. This is another good place to do your Valkyrie kills. So in Mars, you're gonna get the Valkyrie kills bounty from time to time. So this is one of the best places, as there are caches that require Valkyrie hits. So if you do not have like black armory codes, this would be one of the best places to actually get those Valkyrie kills and like the caches for this thing. Now, the other thing that you have to remember is like for this public event in particular, you just need to like stay in the scanning area, and once it reaches a certain percentage, there's going to be 2 wizards that spawn. Defeat the 2 wizards and there's going to be 3 shriekers on the corners. So each corner. So make sure as soon as you kill the first 2 wizards, you're going to see that there's a shrieker that you are able to kill. So now you can actually attack that shrieker and destroy it. Once that is done, go stand in the Warsat's scan area again, and once a certain percentage is done, 2 sets of wizards will pop up again. Then you destroy the shrieker, and then the third time 2 wizards will spawn in again. You destroy the shrieker, and then the boss will spawn for the heroic event, which is an ogre. You can use the Valkyrie to kill that ogre because it is a lot faster if you do not have a high DPS weapon. Alongside, if you are doing an escalation protocol, there will be a boss that spawns for that wave, like I said earlier, and you can use the Valkyries to kill that boss. Now, there are 2 sets of lost sectors, one to the top area and one on the bottom side area as well. So as soon as you're coming from where the Anna Bray's entrance area is, just turn right and go all the way where you see these buildings. Now, you have the options here to actually just rush them and just kill the boss to claim the chest. If you don't want to, like for me, I had a lot of bounties. You can actually go in and take your time by killing the enemies with the weapons that you needed to, because when you enter into like these lost sectors, you have your own instance. So if you have a party of 3 fire team members with you, all 3 joined with you. So just remember that. But if you're alone, you don't have to worry about all of that, and you can just simply go in and do whatever is needed. So as you guys can see here, I was using like my Banshee bounties, so you can switch between the weapons and easily get like 10,000 XP while you're doing like such stuff as like the introduction to the worlds. Now this lost sector is also called the core terminus. There are like two things here as well. One is the caches and the other is the loot box for the caches. So we will be making a video about that later on, because that actually gets you the World Line 0 sword. So it is an exotic sword. You might have seen a lot of videos over YouTube for like world speed runs. That was the weapon that was used to. It's still pretty quick and can be used for like a lot of speed runs, but it is not as effective as it used to be. So once you have completed, make sure you claim that chest, and now this name will be visible to you on the map as well. Teleport to the Glacial Drift landing zone area, turn right from there, walk straight forward, you'll see a cave entrance, enter that. That will be the second lost sector, known as the Madam Subterrane, and it has cabals in it. Now there are a lot of things that you might actually need to do over here. Sometimes the bounties are there as well. But for this one, you could actually rush it. You could just kill these two cabals, and if you see this rock, you could jump on it and jump to the bridge right in front of you. You basically just cleared 50% of the lost sector. But however, with the Season of the Worthy quests, and then there's like some other bounties that usually occasionally happen, like killing cabals or killing scions, you will end up actually here doing the whole thing anyway. But it is completely your call if you are doing the Banshees bounties, for example, so you can take your time killing everything as well. Now once you kill the boss here as well, so this boss actually does count for the wanted bounties for the spider in the Tangled Shore as well, so just keep that in mind as well. So once we get to the Tangled Shore, I will be explaining in detail as to how that happens as well. And you can just claim the chest. Now if you take out your ghost on PC, I actually press the tab button. If you're on the PlayStation, you just press the T-pad button. What happens is that you could see where are the patrols or where are the adventurers. So the adventurers are actually the ones that are like shield with the sword on top of it. The first one we are actually doing over here is Hephaestus. So basically you're just destroying like these two consoles on each side, and if you take out your ghost every single time if you're lost, you'll see that there's like a diamond shaped icon for the objective, and if you make your way over there, it's a lot easier to understand where you are going. So once you have taken this two like consoles down, it will tell you to go to the dynamo section. Now one thing while you are doing all these things here, guys, you will see under the mini-map area or on the bottom side where your like ability bars are, you'll see the names of the places you're going to. So try to kind of like remember this, because when the cache comes in, so the cache actually, there are like these stems that you are required for these caches, and it will tell you like, for example, go to Dynamo, go to Glacial Drift, or go to Futurescape. So it will tell you where you have to go, but you need to know that these are the spots where you would be actually going in order to finish it. Once you have completed your adventure, the last thing to do is finish the escalation protocol. Most likely you will find yourself there's always one underway as you are teleporting in, so you could just join up in order to finish that stuff. Otherwise you could do from level 1 to 7 if you see like any of the towers that are not active yet, so you just go and activate one to start. I usually go into the one that is right in front of the Anabraze space, start from there, and then you end up at the beginning area anyway. So few things that you need to actually know how to actually complete the escalation protocol is what I'm making this part for. So first of all, killing ads is important. Secondly, you see those diamond shaped bars on the left side, those are like diamond looking symbols. What you have to do is kill enemies and fill that bar up. So the second phase will start. So most of the time, each time you go into the second phase, you're going to see this crystal area as well. So you need to stand in the middle of it, and it's going to count to a percentage. So as the waves go up, they will go up to 3 maximum. So obviously it's kind of like a team oriented thing, even though you can do it solo, but it does get a little bit difficult. So you need a lot of adjustments and all that kind of stuff in order to finish this solo. So once that 100% is complete in that ring, you can actually destroy the crystals. And what that does is summons like this big knight and drops a relic. You can use that relic to attack the enemies, but most of the time if you have a really high DPS weapon, you can easily kill all the enemies that are there. So for this one, I was just using like the Seraph's shotgun. Like I wasn't using like that many strong weapons here. But usually when I do, I use like a Jotun and a sword or a rocket launcher, and it gets the job done pretty fast. And if you have a divinity and you see there's a lot of people, you could use the divinity on enemies or like stronger bosses to finish them off quickly. So once that part is done and you're gonna see that the skull is lit, that's where the boss will spawn each time. And earlier when we started this video, I was talking about like how when you're doing the escalation protocol, there will be like bosses that spawn during the public event. So this is actually like the prime example. So while we were doing the escalation protocol, we were at like wave 5 or something like that, and these will spawn right away. So make sure that you are prepared for this as well, because they do a lot of damage, and try not to be as close as much unless you see like a Titan bubble, which I casted like afterwards, or you see like some sort of Well of Radiance and whatnot. However, again, like I said earlier, you need to turn this event into a heroic public event in order to complete the escalation protocol wave. So you also have to kill the bosses, and you also have to do the heroic event and complete it in order for it to count as the escalation protocol wave. Now, once you're at wave 6, it could be anywhere depending on where you started. The most outer tower will be where the wave 7 will happen every single time, because it's the boss phase. It starts off with the boss phase and you have time to do that. If you have the World Line 0 catalyst over here, you can actually kill the boss at wave 7 to get 20% XP for that catalyst. So you will probably have to do like 5 times in order for it to complete for that whole catalyst. So 5 weeks of escalation protocol and the boss phase. Now there are 2 types of bosses that usually spawn so on weekly rotations. So one is this ogre right here, and they can change like a little bit of how like you do the killing for them as well. So as you can see right now, you can attack them, but like the crit spots are like usually like those assist areas for this ogre. Also during this phase there are 3 shriekers, and so you can take down them as well. There will be like a couple of wizards that spawn to the left, and then a couple of strong wizards spawning to the right. Then the last like mechanics you could say for this one is there will be like suicidal thralls that spawn, and a lot of them. So make sure you hit them, because their objective is actually not to kill you. Their objective is to go towards the boss and explode. And if it does that, it actually heals the boss almost completely. So make sure you don't let those thralls reach the boss. And if you did during this like little video piece, if you saw that like the boss was actually turning like green from time to time, that was because the thralls were hitting him. One thing that you might find cool is once you have defeated the boss, you can collect the loot, and you can go interact with the tower again, and it will start at wave 6, not wave 1. And then you can just do wave 7 in order for it to complete. So we did get the 20% for the World Line 0 catalyst, and now we have actually completed everything there is for the discovery of Mars. And let's go talk to Miss Anna Bray. So once completed, Anna Bray will be rewarding you with 25 legendary shards and a trance mat. You can equip that to your ghost if you like it. So that is pretty much it for this video, guys. I hope this guide helped you guys. If you guys have any questions or comments, you can leave it in the comment section below. I'll be happy to answer. This is HBK Grant taking off for the day. Have a great one, guys. Make sure to hit that like button and subscribe.